Please welcome keynote speaker, business magician, and sarcastic introvert, John Petz.
Wow! How cool is it to be back here? I'm excited! I'm so excited! I have to tell you, we're sitting over at the table, we're giggling like, do you have any idea where that's coming from? Like, I have absolutely no idea. Where was the microphone? Who is it? That was the best introduction. Over this way? It's me! You thought it was... Don't let me forget this, Jim. Don't let me forget this sitting. That's a question mark. That's a little question mark right there, right? Make sure I come back to that before the end, okay? That's a little question mark for you. My name is John Petz, who did I have the wonderful opportunity of meeting about 6 months ago. Oh my gosh, fantastic. It is so thrilled that I have the opportunity of being here with you again. As you heard, and Michael was so kind about inviting me back to be part of this group, I loved being a part of this because travel is what I do. I am one of those people that you were picking on about how we do things the way you don't want. That's me! Already starting off on a bad leg right there. Now some people remember I communicated in a wild way. I like to make it fun and entertaining. Is that okay with everybody? As you mentioned, magic is definitely a part of what I do, and I thought we'd start off with that right here. Is there any people that play cards? I'm like a card enthusiast, poker players, anything along those lines? And not a one? No? Are you a card enthusiast? Typically, what's your name? Lisa? There's one big card manufacturer in the United States that makes most, but do you know what brand of cards that is by chance? It's U.S. Playing Card Company. You can, you're right, it's the bicycle playing cards. Is it okay that we use those? You want another one? Okay, we'll go with bicycle. You know, it's interesting when you walk down the aisle of a store, of a Walmart, a grocery store, typically that's the brand you see, and there's a red pack of cards and there's a blue pack of cards that are just right there sitting on the shelf. If you were going to pick red or blue, which would you pick? You would go with the blue, match your shirt? So we're walking down the aisle, we have a blue pack of cards. And inside of that blue pack of cards, right there, they're very colorful. You know, it's new decor. You've got the marketing cards, and you have all the suits. You have your clubs, you have your hearts, your spades, and your diamonds. Which suit would you like to work with? The diamonds for the ladies. So it was a blue, just make sure, and we had a diamond. I'll come a little bit down the table in the red right here. In the diamonds, of course, it goes ace to king. Would you like a low card of diamond, or would you like a higher card in diamonds? A higher card. I'm going to go further down there. So right here. So higher diamond, which would be what, the 7, the 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, ace. What would you like to go with? Yeah. You're going to go with the queen of diamond. The queen of diamond. So surprising. This is so very surprising. This is absolutely perfect. Ooh, the dramatic music. So well played. I love that. So just to recap, we did go with the blue. You said the diamond. I know we went a high card and a queen of diamond. Now I set this up with 5 different people on purpose, and our Lisa over here, who's really talented with cards and a professional player, would you be willing to help out for just a moment? Are you comfortable with that? Would you be willing to join me? Quick clap for Lisa. All the way up, Lisa. Here, Claude, you got it. Here. Perfect. Open up the box for me if you don't mind. Open that up. Just open it up. And pull out what's inside. What's inside? Jump, I promise. Pull it out. What do you have, Lisa? Hold it up. Hold it up. It's actually it's a blue. It's a blue pack. Just coincidentally, but it was really cool. What type of cards are they? They are bicycle cards. Would you mind looking closely at the pack? I've never touched them. This is the first time you touched them. You know cards. Is it completely sealed? No one's opened them ever before in their life. Could you open it for me for the first time? Rip the box, it doesn't matter. They're $2.99 at Walmart. Perfect. Dump them out, being careful not to drop them ideally. Yep. And then here's what I would love for you to do. You're going to turn just slightly so you can show them the cards, but yet you see them at the same time. And you'll notice it's a complete new deck order. It should be. Complete new decor, yeah. You'll see some marketing cards on the front, some marketing cards on the back. And Lisa, what I would like you to do is continue to thumb through them so they can see it. I'm going to have you turn this so they can all see it. And then find the diamonds. And once you get to the diamonds, slow down for just a moment. With any luck, in a brand new, unopened, sealed pack of cards, slowly, Lisa, pull that one that's, can everyone see there is one face down card. Correct, Lisa? Is there one face down card? Coincidentally, it's right next to the King of Diamonds and after the Jack of Diamonds. Why don't you hold up nice and big, turn it around with all the flair, all the passion. The Queen! Those are your souvenir, you keep those, you rip the box so you get to go home with them, all right? One more for Lisa if you don't mind. We have to start off with something unique like that. And sometimes you get the reaction when you do something, crazy, diabolically impossible. You get that reaction, right? Like, what just happened? I have been performing that for maybe 35 plus years, but I'm curious, could anyone do that right now? For real, and for real, can anyone do that? You could do it? Perfect. You're next. Hold on, so we can do it, you think. So, here's why I asked that. Most people said no. Why not? Why couldn't you? We don't have a method, right? Sometimes when we see people perform, we see these diabolically impossible things, we think it's impossible. We think the partnerships that we've worked so long, 8 years to create this virtual we think they're impossible, but it needs a method to create the desired effect. And oftentimes, that method is so simple, but we bypass it. Today we're going to talk about innovation and thinking like a magician. You don't have to be one to think like one, but using simple solutions to create incredible results and effects. You see, magic is built on assumption, it's built on a belief. The method I used was rather simple. You assume and believe that it is, and it actually is, a brand new pack of cards. Lisa, it had never been opened, right? I mean, I didn't say that, but you confirmed it. But in fact, it had to have been, right? It had to have been. But it was sealed. You believed that you had a completely free choice. We didn't set it up, did we? You picked blue, you picked diamond, you picked queen. We had a completely free choice. But we still had to have that method. The one thing that most of you probably didn't have was a birthday boy. That's what you didn't have. You see, all you really need is birthday boy. Now, be honest. You're the person behind the box. People now have that face again, and they're like, how was I so stupid? Who thinks they can do it now, and probably better than I did? Raise your hand if you can do it now, right? Because you have a method. And if we're going to continue to look forward and innovate of who we are, I want to reimagine some of the methods that we use. Assumptions and belief. And what I heard earlier, I want us to reimagine the partnerships. I want us to reimagine the passion of the partnerships that I heard and witnessed in this room. And I want to really dig into the innovative mindset of how you can think like a magician. And for the people who haven't seen me, I know what they're thinking right now. You know what? Hey, John, I get it. But I don't. Not the trick. We have real jobs. All right? What does any of this mean? But let me further tell you about the fascination effect, because I did too. But my stage today was boardrooms and stockholder meetings and pitch meetings in front of potential investors. I was a tech entrepreneur, .com era. I was number 15 into a company. We built it to 1,500 people. We had $320 million of investment money, and we spent it all and went out of business. One person made money, one person ended up selling. But during that time frame, fascinating, I learned that these tools, these innovative methods as a salesperson, as a speaker, as an entrepreneur, creating methods that people remember can have a tremendous impact and results. So I was late 20s, I was a junior salesperson really to these are VC money. This is Kleiner Perkins, if you GE Capital, Silver Lake Partners, if anyone's into that world, New York and Silicon Valley money. I am making a sales call on Ford Motor Company. It was a cold call. This is the day when major retailers were shifting to e-commerce, but they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to ship a pallet of lipsticks from Martha Stewart, but they didn't know how to do one. That's where we came in. Ford needed help shipping their parts via an online portal. And we did all the distribution. I go to Dearborn, Michigan, the fancy building, the top floor. Never forget it. Big deal. The president and CFO come with me. We're all dressed up, man, had the paperwork out. We're sitting at this like big oak table. It was gorgeous. Like custom chairs around it. All the artwork was on the wall. And soon enough, like these two big double oak doors open up, and in walks the global purchasing chairman of Ford Motor Company. It was showtime, right? No, I was cool. They came in, we sat down, right across had two junior execs that came in with him, and there was no small talk. He just asked, "Why are you here?" And our president jumped in and said, "Let me tell you how good we are at shipping, and how on time we are, and all the..." I always called that sales puke. You ever heard that word? Like you know nothing about your client, nothing about their business, and they're just, "Let me tell you how great we are." Then here's me watching them, and I see them disengaging. And I get it, because they probably had 3 other people like me pitching them that very day on what it is. And I'm trying to think of, okay, how can I change the course of this meeting? So I had the idea. When it was appropriate, I interjected and said, "Well, sir, my name's John. I'm the one who spoke with you on the phone. If it's okay, I think it'd be great if we introduced ourselves and tell you why we're here, and then better understand why you want to get into the online parts business." And they agreed. They sat back and they listened. The president gave his little intro. Then it was my turn. So my name's John. I started out at MCI Telecommunications, and then I toured professionally as a magician for 3 years. But now that I'm here, I'm excited about the opportunity to really get a hold of the... And one of the junior executives just stopped. He's like, "Oh, wait a second, hold on. You were what?" I said, "Well, if I toured professionally as a magician, I still perform to this day. But I'm excited to really understand how..." Really? Yeah. And there was that moment I could not finish the sentence. He looks right at me. What do you think he said?
"Show me a trick."
Show us a trick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's validating if I'm telling the truth or this guy's into magic, but truly, you know what it was for me? Showtime. and I did not have a pack of cards or coins. So I gave him this. Remember this one? Tell me if you've seen this before. I did the stupid dumb trick, right? But you know how they reacted? There was nothing. I thought I had it right. So I continued. I said, "Well, if you're good at it, sometimes you can take the thumb and you can pull it off and put it back on." As cheesy as I could, right? And guess how they reacted? I mean, they're probably making $1 million an hour between the two. I just burned at least $100,000 right there. And I literally got the kick from the CFO under the table, like, "What are you doing?" I was too deep. I couldn't stop there. So I explained to them, "Well, let me show you professional grade thumb magic. This is next level, but if I show it to you, you have to do it with me, otherwise it'll make absolutely no sense." And they agreed. "So you have to do this with me also, right? Because you never thought," I explained, "listen, the next time you go to a board meeting, your company picnic, your employees, or when you go home and see your family, you're going to have a cool trick to show them. So it's fun with thumbs. Walk through it with me. Looks just like this. Hands go straight out. I'll wait." So I can see all of you. This is great. Even with it. Can you imagine we're like walking by your conference room and having 6 people like, Okay. Your palms go out, and it doesn't matter which hand, but one hand goes over top of the other. Yeah.
Okay.
It is a thumb trick. Therefore, take your thumbs will go straight down. Get the tips of your thumbs as close as you can together. It'll be a little bit easier for you if you actually hold up. You've got it perfect. Hold up so they can kind of see it. Yep. Awesome. It kind of hurts though. Listen. Here's the hard part. Ready? Slowly you'll take your thumbs and you'll turn them straight up.
What? What?
Straight up! Did you get it?
No.
What do you think happened in the meeting room? It is a totally different atmosphere, right? Don't break your wrist. I do not have insurance for that. I really don't. I mean, they're laughing. They're giggling. We had normal people small talk and dialogued and talked about pre-meeting things and build a connection before we went to content. I just wanted them to remember who I was, right? I wanted to break down that wall between prospect and seller. Create that moment that they could remember. I know that probably after the one thing, the lowest price, maybe so. But how do you create those connections, the relationships and partnerships in these rooms while you're here? I took a chance on that. And genuinely, I think it changed the trajectory of my career. Maybe the reason I'm standing here today. No, that company did not make it. But 3 months later, I would never say it's because I did the silly little thumb trick, but we got Ford's business. And I became the golden boy sales child of the investors. They would come get me in their starter jets, as I would call them, their little starter. And we would go do, I was their intro to major retailers. I would kind of do the pitch. And it was, Kmart and Martha Stewart, Estee Lauder, Best Buy. I was in Martha Stewart's executive boardroom. Sitting across from Martha, the investor's right here. He's like, that was the only reason they brought me. That was it. I had Martha doing the thumb trick. Way before she was doing this trick. Still too soon. I love that girl. It's my favorite part of that. But true, but the wildest part of that is we're leaving the beautiful Ford building, and there's this big, huge glass foyer. And we're walking out after the meeting, and the person who asked me, like, show us it. He taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, okay, what do you think he asked? How'd you do it? I said, well, I have 2 left hands. And I turned, and I just walked out the door. And it was like the perfect scenario, because I could look back in, I see him in the glass foyer just going, but that was that moment where I wanted to take a risk and try to create a unique connection. You know, I learned that the artistry of magic is truly part of the art of human connection, creating those moments that people talk about, text about, tweet about, blog about, that we have those memorable experiences. But how can we create that in what we do? How do we do it? How do you have the guts to go out on a limb and try something like that? Real example. I'll tell you the people who have the guts. If you're walking down the road and you see it's $5 sitting on the sidewalk as you walk out, it's only $5. It's a half a beer in this hotel, right? But who would spend the energy to actually bend over and pick up the $5 in free cash? Nobody's around. Who would bend? Look at everyone who's not raising their hand for just a second. Keep your hands up. Look at everyone who's not. See them? They're lying. Who it's fine. We'll go pick it up for real. What if it was, I got 20. If it was a $20 bill, who'd pick it up? Oh, thank you. Make sure he's not under there still. Who'd pick up the 20? Do I still the 40? If we're going to, who pick up the 40? Okay, thank you very much. Right, the difference is, who wants it? Who wants it for it? Who wants it? The banker. Imagine that. Could not have been better ever. Dude, you were right there. Right here. I'm looking at you, man. Tori, right? US Bank, thank you. Thanks for what you're doing for being here. I love the program we talked about, and that whole setup is what you've done. You took the seemingly impossible and made it possible with that card and tap to pay, and everywhere that's come. We will settle up after the show. I dare you to try it, because we had, 100-some people that said, yeah, I want it. But one person took the risk, got off their butt, and did something about it. In business and life, sometimes we have to see that opportunity to create the new connection, to make the next call, to do a stupid thumb trick in a meeting, but actually do something with it. But we're held back because of doubts and fears. I mean, you could have tripped over the little television monitor right here. If you remember last, I could have given you a lemon like last time. There's all those things that could have happened, but why is that? Neurologically, why do we think that way? When we look at innovation and doing things different on an absolute continual basis, which we need to do, why does that happen? So I'll give you a really difficult exercise to see how this works. So, Eric, alpha, how old when you learn to say the alphabet? What do you think? You get little kids, do you? 3? 4? Late bloomer? Me too. The real answer is you don't remember, right? Who has kids? By 8, alphabet, probably 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there, right? But you've always done it one way. Always. And then something comes along and jumbles it up, and we see it a little bit different way, right? Boom. And your eye sees it, it's confusing to us. Eric is just the alphabet backwards. It was easy for me to come up with a quick yes. But it's different. It's the eye test. Yes, no eye test, we're good. Can anyone say it backwards? Sometimes there's someone in the room. Can you really? Without looking, I won't test you. It's okay.
It doesn't.
Only one person? And not the whole, turn around and say it backwards. Yeah, I heard that, seen that. Now I'm actually curious. Okay. Who thinks, if I threw a problem out there, who thinks they could learn to say the alphabet backwards in less than 12 hours? Raise your hand.
12 hours?
Yeah. Okay, it's stupid. It's 26 letters. Raise your stinking hands. You're smart, intelligent, but that's dumb! Make it hard. How about 4 hours? Who can do it in 4 hours or less? Now it's getting more aggressive. Yeah, it's 20. Oh, 2 hours? 1 hour. Maybe wow, 30 minutes? Could you really? I want 30. If you haven't ever learned it, 15 minutes? You think you can do it in 15 minutes? Wow. Only one person? 2 hours? Well, then world travel, suppliers, partners. Just for kicks, I'm going to teach you to say the alphabet backwards. But I'm going to do it in 5 minutes or less. But honestly, the moment I made that statement, wasn't it almost instantaneous? You got that little thing in your gut that was like, whatever, freaky magic boy. When you were looking to innovate and do these different potential opportunities, the moment that doubt enters the system, and doubt in an organization, that's what's negativity and gossip. But doubt also holds us back, and that's when I listen to all the new things that are coming up between the partnership with the new technology. It's like, man, this is a program just moving forward at this rapid speed. But what if we could look at something and be like, there's absolutely ways we can do it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm generally going to teach you to say the alphabet backwards in 5 minutes or less. And the first person who does it is the best part, because you get to take Tori's $40. Who wants to take the banker's money? Raise it. Yes, we do. All right, ready? Here's what we're going to do. I want you to put a picture in your brain. The better the picture, the more vivid, the better. All right? Picture a Viking, an ex-Viking warrior standing out in a field. You can picture him with a helmet on, horns, his all beat up sword next to him. He is a retired ex-Viking warrior. His name is ZY, the ex-warrior. Now, around ZY in this field, he has his hobby. It's an odd hobby. His hobby is raising cute baby alligators. Do you have a visual? Over the next 30 seconds, I'm going to share with you the story of ZY, the ex-warrior, and ask a few questions. When I ask a question, answer out loud because it'll greatly enhance your chances of success and taking money from the bank. Literally. What is the ex-warrior's name? ZY. What is the ex-warrior's hobby? Raising cute baby alligators. So ZY is standing out in the field one day tending to his flock of cute baby alligators, and he sees his wife across the field walking up to him. What's his name? He's an ex-warrior. What's his hobby? Raising cute baby alligators. Sees his wife walking up. She walks up and she hands him this piece of paper. Now ZY was retired, he didn't have his glasses on, but he could see the piece of paper and what it was, and it was a coupon. But he couldn't read it. So he had to ask his wife, "What's our coupon for?" Don't get ahead of me. What's his name? He's an ex-warrior. What does he ask his wife? What's our coupon for? Don't put a U in there, it's coupon. What do you think the coupon's for? It's for a milk jug to feed the cute baby alligators. Tell me you're saying a pattern. What's his name? He's an ex-warrior. What's he ask his wife? What's our coupon for? She says a. This is the only hard part. That is jug. That's the Scandinavian spelling. That's how they do it. What's the milk jug for? Feed the cute baby alligators. I'm telling you, there's one sentence you need to learn. If you say it once a day for a week, unfortunately, you will never forget this exercise. All right? It goes like this. Will you help us out? Oh, still. Perfect. Would you help us? They're going to all read along with you, but she's going to lead us. Ready? Say the sentence for us. They're going to join you. Ready?
All right,
Say it with her.
was an ex-warrior who asked his wife, "What's our coupon for?" She said, "Milk jug to feed the cute baby
That was
alligator."
perfect. Give her a round of applause. Give that for her. All right. You said 15 minutes. Right? Say the sentence. Stand up for us if you don't mind. Do you have the sentence? Say the sentence. Go for it.
ZY was an ex-warrior who asked his wife, "What's our coupon for?" And she said it was for a milk jug to feed your cute baby alligator.
That was phenomenal. In accent and all. All right. Money round. Letters only.
Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A.
Give it up for Tori and for. Congratulations. Okay, seriously, just for a moment. If I gave you 10 minutes without making you stand up, throw a microphone in your face in front of your peers and friends, play Chariots of Fire, could you or could you not learn to say it backwards in less than 10 minutes? Yes or no? And 6 minutes and 15 seconds ago, most of you said, no way, in less than 12 hours. Why? No, because we think, we see that you're evolving and changing things. How can you reimagine? How can you use assumption and belief for you? One of the other amazing things that I felt that I heard in here today, and I added this video literally about an hour and a half ago, is the passion for what you do and the love. And actually a book recommendation if we're readers, Marcus Buckingham coming, the new book is called Love and Work. This is all written post-pandemic, We've talked about staffing and issues and challenges. You see it every day. And it was a study of 50,000 people of what we want today as team members, as employees. And it came back to one word in the end. It was the love of what we do. You know, loving the opportunity to innovate, loving and having value in what you do. Who's been hard to love the past 2 years? Who's been hard to like the past 2 years, right? Yes. We've all been there. And I added this in, and you know, I love to talk about travel stories as I do, and this is a resort. And I should have showed you the picture yet, but if you set up the story of it, here's a person that works in 100-degree weather, out in the hot sun, over coals. You have to figure 5-6 days a week. Does that sound fun? It really wouldn't when you set it up that way. He does happen to work on the beach, Montego Bay.
Yeah.
I was at an event, speaking at an event actually for the resort and their company, and it was this jerk chicken stand, and it was just incredible. Every time I would walk by, he'd ask me. I was only there like 24 hours, too. It was in and out for the job. And at the end, he knew my name because I kept going back for the chicken. Like every time I'd just give him a little bit more. It was so good. And I took this video, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago, but
John, one love, more love. From Hyatt to you, that's a love, man. And please come back and enjoy your vacation, man. Yeah.
So he's just talking about one love. And actually, one of the best, most unique parts of this video is me trying to do the fist bump and missing completely. Oh, you can? Oh, does it? Yeah, I cut it off. I completely miss it. So fast forward. I go back a year later. Same group. Same resort. No joke, I'm walking by and I see him in there. And I'm like, there's no way, right? There's no way. I had to go up and talk to him for a little bit. And he looks at me and he's like, in full accent, he's like, I know you. I know you. John. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how many people does he meet? I asked to talk to his manager. I just, when I have those experiences, I want to know how and why, the method behind him wanting to be more than just enough to get by, to serve in that fashion. And I heard him talk about what he does, and this is what I want to share about what you do, just that sense of love.
Listen, like, as I say, it's like...
This is a year later.
And look at the place, man. Look at it. We don't have snow to deal with. We don't get super hot. It's always nice. So I think the environment helps also give you that feeling, that joy. You know? And it's just like that, brother. Here, from here, it goes out.
It's from the heart. I had to share that with you because you understand that you get all that, right? Passionately loving to do what you do and create the moments. If you look up passion in the dictionary, it says boundless enthusiasm. And I don't think it's that so much. You don't have to be all enthusiastic. Can't you tell when you're working with someone and you can just feel it in their heart that they're truly, genuinely engaged and enjoy what they do? Do you love working with those people? When I talk about passion, I like talking about coffee, which people think, what? Newer grocery store, Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from. Well, newer probably being multiple years old. You would know the name of the company. I'm not marketing for them, but they were bought by a company that rhymes with Schmamazon. Built one not far from me, so I go to that grocery market, and someone had told me, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I had some today, but every day I don't do it. They said, no, you gotta go check it out. They got the most incredible coffee bar. It's great. And they got a Wi-Fi, you can also, so I went to the grocery store on Fridays, I work on me, so I went to the grocery store to work for the day. Never done that before. And I'm looking around for the coffee that's supposed to be so good. And my expectations are, maybe the little Starbucks in the corner, maybe you have the little pump machines like you have outside, but I roll up, and maybe you've seen one in this environment. There's like 18 barrels of beans out front. Huge copper roaster, it was gorgeous. And I walk up, have my laptop, I'll never forget her name, it was Carlene. She looks at me, she says, how can I help you out? I'm like, I hear you have the best coffee in town. And she came right back at me, she's like, you heard right. What can I get for you? I was like, And honestly, I'm like, she could tell I was completely out of my league. So she comes around the corner, she says, well, how do you like it? Do you like it light? Do you like it dark? Do you like it flavored? And as I'm going, she's scooping up the coffee beans, and she's letting me smell the different types of coffee beans. And this one is from Kenya, and this is from Ethiopia, and this one, and we got to one that was called Salawizi. She's like, oh, it's my favorite. I'm like, let's do that. She runs back around the corner, she's like, well, how would you like it? Cup. You know, it's like a bun. She's like, have you ever had a French press coffee? Who knows what a French press is? No. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe I've heard the term, but I don't know what it is. She's like, that's the best way to have coffee. But it'll take 4 to 5 minutes to make. Is that all right? I'm like, I'm just here to look around. I'm like, no problem at all. She's like, okay, hold on. And she grabs the beans, goes to this roaster, crushes them all up, and puts everything in this cocktail shaker-like machine. And it was right then I realized, right then, that I just bought the most expensive cup of coffee in my life. And I was at that moment, right? I looked up and I see the word French press. And it was $1.95. She sets it aside, sets this little timer, and she asks me, do you know why it's the best way? I'm like, I have no idea. It's like whenever you use a paper drip filter, it catches all the coffee grounds, but it also soaks up all the oil from the coffee bean. And the oil is the soul of the coffee. No joke, this woman's into it like Cheyenne. Soul. And she took like, I guess an older one that was sitting there, there's a Dixie cup. She pours it in, she's like, check it out, check it out. And there's me and Carlene looking at a Dixie cup of coffee. She's like, wait for it, and if you've got one, you know what I mean? And after like 5 seconds, you see this oil form on top. She's like, that's it so. I'm like, this, wow. Ding, the thing goes off. Me and my wisdom of coffee, she slides it across. She's like, no cream, no sugar, straight up. You know you got it, you did a little. And the look on her face was just like, and I do the little. I mean, it was a cup of coffee. I got nothing. But I'm like, oh, that's cool. Best experience of my life, right? I thanked her. I'm like, she's like, do you want to pay here up front? I'm like, oh, it's my first time here. I'll walk around a little bit. She's like, it's your first time in the store? Let me tell you about our store. You see, everything is organic, it's natural. If you see something you've never had before, open up the box. We'll make sure you get a sample of it. Even if it's closed, I mean, whatever you look, we want to make sure you have a good experience. Like, okay. Thank you, Carlene. So I'm going to go pay for my coffee and walk out. I pass, in the middle of the store, that big glass section. It's like the ready fish and seafoods, and all like the meats are right there. And I'm walking by, and no joke, someone, hey, how can I help you out? I'm like, actually, I'm just looking. It's my first time here. It's your first time here. Let me tell you about our store. You see, the salmon was just flown in from Alaska. These crab cakes I just got from the East Coast that just made them. In fact, would you test a crab cake for me? Yeah. And I had my crab cake and my coffee. And then it got even weirder. He yells at like the big flap doors, in the back of grocery markets, superstores, whatever. He's like, hey, Joe, it's his first time here. Bring him some of the chocolate cheese. Expectation. Your sample under the little dough they used to spin with a toothpick, and you get that little nugget of cheese that you hope nobody's snotted on before, right? A minute later, as I'm talking about fish from all around the world, this kid comes rolling out this dolly with linen on it like the table, and there's this like big orangish brownish wheel of cheese. He shaves it off, puts it on a glass plate, and I have a crab cake and chocolate cheese. He said, well, the cheese itself is from Belgium, but the cocoa beans are from South America. And let me tell you about our store. I didn't know what to do at this point. I learned more about cheese than I ever really wanted to learn about in those few minutes. I thanked them both. Now I'm just trying to get out. I passed the ready food section. I like all the sandwiches, the lunch meats, the salads. I walk by. Someone asked me, how can I help you out? I said, well, actually, I'm just looking. It's my first time here. It's your first time here? Let me tell you about our store. mission, you know what I mean? I am like, there's this big chocolate fountain up front, and I walk up, what do they ask? What do you think I said at this point? The first time I hear it. Marshmallow strawberry, dip it in that fountain. Oh. Wasn't until I actually paid for the coffee, sat down, opened up the laptop, that I had the true realization of every single person I passed. Carlene, the coffee lady, wasn't trying to sell me the most expensive cup of coffee, but she had that genuine sense of passion about what she did. Let me tell you about our store. I told that story and I threw it online years back. It probably got a couple 100,000 views, nothing crazy. You know the company. What is the company?
Whole Foods.
And I got to meet the Whole Foods CEO. My question is, how do you do that? Do it again. How do you make that happen? And the most impactful sentence I remember telling me is, I allow my employees to make a decision. Decisions that make a difference for the customers. Give them that true sense of value in what they do, that impact of making differences every day. And I also learned every employee can give away $20 of free food a day. This is my first time here. Try it, I swear. Just go, you're gonna go alone. But how is it? I share that about passion because I sense that when we talk about partnerships, and George was talking about what's in this room, the passion for the relationship, and don't you dare leave that relationship in this room, in this ballroom, when you go out those doors. Isn't that the real purpose? Yes, we're building businesses and we're serving the members, but I loved how you shared that. The reason we're here is this. And be passionate about what you do. When you go back, how is it in your office? And can you be the one that influences that enthusiastic change when you want to solve a unique issue or reimagine an issue? When I talk about reimagination, I love throwing different things out. I'll tell you another reason it goes bad. And someone did I'll show you how it can go bad. Here's what happens. Would you mind helping me for a moment, sir? Really, really simple. You're going to be my thinker. Is that okay? What's your name? Oliver, where are you from? Canada. Get it from Oliver from Canada. Come on, Oliver. You got it. Here's what happens. Here's why we miss those moments. We don't like to worry. You got it, my thinker. Awesome. Frodo. Legs together, you're on stage. Yeah, there you go. No, I thought they know magician. I'm going to do a tiny bit of sleight of hand magic because of assumption. I believe that we miss those moments because of misdirection or illusion. We have the opportunities to be passionate and innovate, but sometimes we just are too focused. So let me show you. I've got a tester unit that should fit. Yeah, fingers out just like this. Yeah, and fingers in. You're going to do great. Let me see if that'll fit for you. Awesome. Perfect. All we're going to do is great. That was my part of the script. Actually, we're going to do a tiny bit of sleight of hand magic, but here's the deal. Audience, you may very well see what happens, and that's fine. Like this one, I'm going to kind of pull back the curtains and show you perspective how it's used in magic. Now, if you figured out, just don't tell Oliver, okay? Oliver, if you figured out, because you got the backstage pass front row seat, that's totally fine, just don't tell them. Deal? All right, so it works like this. Here's a little bit of perspective. So I'm going to take a tiny piece of tissue paper, and all you really have to do is to kind of watch my hands. And here's what I'm going to try. Courtesy flush. There you go. I'm going to do one of those. I'm going to roll it, and you just tell me right hand or left hand. Nice and loud. Oh, very good. All right, give it a round of applause. Yeah. Try to get a little bit slow. Hold on so we can kind of see it. We get it right here. I'll do it nice and easy for you. Don't help them out. Right hand or left hand, Oliver? Left. Ooh, I did get you that up. That's all right. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them yet. They'll catch on. All right. Here, loosen up your grip, man. There you go. Awesome. Did you see that one go? Right. Oh, yeah, we're right behind the elbow. Kind of keep that so we don't lose it. Yep. If we get it right here, we're a little bit slower. Watch. Left or right? Now you got it. Left or right? You little sucker. We'll do one. We'll do one jumbo one. I'll show you what's actually throwing you off when we do it. You were doing well at watching the hand. You're really focused on that. But if we get up here, get this out of the way. Hold it tight against your chest. And now keep your eyes on the hands. That's what we want to watch. Yeah, either one. Whichever one you want to watch. You got it. Okay, watch the hands. You got it all. Now you have it. Now you have it. Left or right hand? Right hand. Now it's on your chest. I got you on that one. Here, we'll supersize you one time. Supersize you. Sorry. Yep. Left or right? Who's got the money for $20 left or right hand? You want to bet on this one? No. Dude, this is an easy one, y'all. You can't lose. All right, left or right hand for 20 of the $40 out there. Which one? Left hand. Actually, you can't. Sorry about you. Left. Put your hands together for an hour. Look, perspective for me, because whatever, so I know you come to work. And we're doing more with less. I know. And we're so focused on what's right in front of us. And because of it, sometimes we miss the bigger picture. That's what this past day and a half has been all about. Talking with Rachel Cohen and Cheryl last night and learning about networking, and I just freaked 3 of them out. I told them I would not pick, don't pick us tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you're fine, we're fine. But then talking to many of you, like, why are you here? Sharing problems. And Laura Hatch. Laura Hatch is such a big help to me as well. Tracy. Oh, sorry, Tracy. I'm going to start over. My name's John from Columbus, Ohio. Tracy, I apologize. But the other one that did say, I'll compliment you. You shared with me how important it is to share problems and learn and be a part of this group. And when all of you talked, that's why I added a pen. It was just a passionate response of excitement of being a part of something bigger. When you're here, engage and be a part of it. It's incredible. But that is the perspective. That's why we want to continue to be a part of this and innovate who you are. The perspective component. So I'm going to give you real quick challenges in magic. Not really in magic, but in problem solving in a very simple solution manner. Sometimes these seem really difficult, but they're very simple. If any of you know the answers to these that I go through, like positively know it, don't tell your table yet. Deal. Let your table talk for 30 seconds. That's all we'll do. Back in the space race, there was a big problem. United States were up there, they had their astronauts, and they were trying to write. And they were using this ballpoint pen that they developed to write in space, and they couldn't get it to work consistently. They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on specialized mercury that was pressurized, to make the pen like right upside down with no gravity in space. And they never could get it to work. The Russians came along and they also had a solution. Talk for 30 seconds. What was it? Thank you for your 30 seconds. I appreciate it. Who did that absolutely do it, right? What did they do? Yeah, they used a pencil. I had to add this one. And okay, don't answer if you know this one. Don't answer yet. If you positively know, don't yell now. Who's from Philadelphia? No one from Philadelphia is allowed to answer this. I thought this was a perfect another example of how you can think differently, how you can use a different method of that based on assumption and belief. So the big challenge in Philadelphia is people were climbing the telephone poles. Don't answer. And they got more police to stop them. They got police on horseback. They got more and more stuff just trying to get people to stop climbing poles after they would win a game. Talk at your tables, 15, 20, 30 seconds max. If you definitely know what it is, don't answer. Go. See if you can come up with a solution.
Yeah.
30 seconds at your table, that's it. I'll even give you a little background music. If you think you know it, raise your hand. If you don't, live in Philly. 10 seconds left, 10 seconds, everyone have it. Think you have it? They think they have it? Alright? If you're not from Philly, if you know for a fact, don't answer. For those who truly discussed, what do you think they did? Who? They increased the polls, Crisco, yeah. Simple solutions to problems that could be. One more. Picture yourself in a spa, high-end spa. really nice shampoo, lotions, all those stuff that we love to take home and put in our bag. And people were stealing them by the droves. They tried putting signs and labels. They were innovative and looking at different methods to solve that desired effect, right? But it wasn't until they did one thing that it truly stopped everyone from taking a little travel-size shampoos and lotions. Talk amongst your table for 30 seconds. What do you think it was? Simple solutions. Simple solutions. They didn't spend any money. They didn't repackage anything. They spent no money, I should put it. Who's got the best answers? Who's got the best answers? I think. Raise your hand if you got the best. Is your table an answer? Raise your hand. Table. What's your answers? Go for it. No? That costs money because they had to buy their own bag dispensers. What's that? Glue to the table. That's a very weird visual, I'm sorry. They did not get rid of them. So much simpler. Give them away for free. They almost pretty much were, but then we're losing. They didn't want to continue to lose that many of them. Single use? Full size? No? No? Last one.
Increase their prices.
No. They took every cap off of the bottle and sent it all out with no caps. That's like Pharaoh on the table, like that is so stupidly simple. Isn't that wild? Method and effects. And when we talk about coming with unique solutions, what can we do together? And I loved hearing about the technology and the solutions that you're creating, that Tori was creating, the new partnerships. They took down the sign. I was up here with One Global Travel, and Jody manages that. Where's Jody? Long gone? I've heard so much about Jody and everything she's done with this. And that was a solution that people were trying to figure out the impossible. But you all did it. I'm not saying it was simple, but what that's doing for you as potential partners and clients is amazing. Finding solutions in innovative ways instead of being so focused on every way you've done the alphabet in the past. And what would happen if we do this together? What could we truly accomplish? Could we accomplish the impossible if we tried something together? So I have an idea. That's Jack. We'll skip Jack. Yeah, everyone say hi, Jack. It's all right. Good story, but I got to keep this up time. And I'm going to end on something kind of wild. There's another one that's going to come up. I have so many wonderful travel stories. I'll share this. We talk about moments that people remember. I met her BC before COVID. I fly a lot of Houston to Columbus route, and I would just see this flight in all the time. She flies for one of the regionals that supports many of the major brands. After COVID, I was flying and got on the aircraft, and it was 2.5 years later. And she looked at me, and it seemed like she was like, I recognized her. She knew me by name. She's like, yeah, but the last time we flew, you were actually with your friends flying to Las Vegas. I'm like, what? We were just obnoxiously drunk, so probably easy not to. But just when people engage and connect, what's possible and how you make people feel. But I wanted to end up with something unique. My guys was, have fun. Let people laugh. End of the day and a half. Let them enjoy themselves. All right, I have something to finish on. So I thought I've kind of exposed every trick, if you want to call it, as I've gone out, except for the thumbs, 2 left hands. But what if we go crazy and levitate somebody on this stage?
Okay.
Right here. Better yet, what if we levitate 4 people? 4. So we've got World Travel Team. We've got the One Global Travel team, right? Where's the One Global Travel team? They still there? Back here? Perfect. Yes, are they? Perfect. Over, okay. I know we have some suppliers in here. We have some customers in here. So I need 4 people. Here's the deal. I want 4 people who are passionate about what they do, who want to enjoy a moment, who want to get the best stinking photograph of the afternoon. True disclaimer, this is not overly physical on the body. However, if you just had a knee surgery or a back surgery, are pregnant or expect to become pregnant, it's probably not for you, okay? But it's really not overly physical. If you have really high heels or a really short potential pants, maybe. However, we're my customers' naps forever. I need 1 customer who wants one of the best together. Real quick, if you want to learn to levitate as a customer, raise your hand. Who's up? First up. There it is. Come on down. I'm looking for One Travel. Where's One Global Travel? Where's my One Global Travel, folks? There's only a couple of you. Where is it? Right down here? That's you. Come on up. You got it. I'm looking for I need a World Travel. World Travel. Barb, you're on. They pointed to you. And 1 customer. 1 customer. Oh, no, I have the customer. Supplier, thank you. 1 supplier. Come on, we'll actually call it 1 supplier, real quick. Trust me, you'll love it. You'll get the best photo, best visual. Suppliers, really, this is your chance. I'll promote you. 1 supplier, quick. I need you, real quick. Steven from Amtrak. Is Steven in the room? For real, I do need 1 supplier. Thank you for being a good sport. Everyone's checking it out. All right. How many for all the way down here? All the way down. Right in front of the stage. Right in front of the stage. So everyone knows who we are. Could you tell your name and what you do briefly?
I'm the Chief Executive of Clarity in the UK.
Glad you're here with us. Clarity, impressive what you've all put together. We'll try to love it. Go ahead.
Michelle Estes, Travel Manager, Madison Square Garden.
Awesome, Madison Square Gardens. Go for it, Barb. Of account management and yes. So here's the deal. Audience. They volunteered, sort of. Since they did and you didn't, if this works, you don't just clap for them, you go crazy for it. Is that a deal? Is that a deal? If it doesn't work, remember 3 things. 9, 1, 1. Okay? We're going to be tight. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. Got it. You 4 like to dance? Give a little volume, Travis. Yep. A little literature. Perfect. Get through. Partnership right here. 4 people, 3 chairs. Who wants to see 2? Who wants to see 1? time. Are they still going? Are they still up? Are they really? All right, you four. You want the hard way or the easy way? The hard way is put the chairs under. The easy way is just sit down. Just sit down. I think so. Put your hands together for these four. Come on. Any questions? That's right, Jim. I won't forget about my question mark. I won't forget about it. I got it. Really, I let it go. We wanted to enjoy our time together. We did want to enjoy our time. I'll give you one click last one. I know we all like to travel. Let's do a trip together next year. I met some people earlier. We're going to go somewhere in the world. Is there a city that people would know that you would like to go to? What? Yeah, what the? Paris? Paris. Is it cool we go to Paris? Who wants to go to Paris? A lot of famous people hang out in Paris. So we're flying to Paris. First class. We're sitting next to somebody famous. Who do you want to sit next to? Tom Cruise? Okay, sir, what time are we leaving? What time? 7 p.m. At 7 p.m.? Okay, wait, we had Paris, Tom Cruise at 7 p.m. We will fly to Paris. What flight number? I don't know what flight number flies it. What flight number? Flight 1221? You actually know the number. This is real. Here, I'll give you one more trick you can use. One more trick you can use. How about this? I don't even. Have you guys all said this? Is that legitimately the real flight? 236, 7? That's your, okay, 237? That's actually never, that's amazing. All right, so be honest. This pen's gonna go bad. Right in front row, you could have had cash. What is your name? This is one that will just amaze your family and friends. Do you have any idea what I've just written, Raj, on the back of this? Yes or no? Nice and loud, yes or no? No? That is correct. Raj, here's what's kind of cool. Let's kind of just a second. Okay, just pull that up. Oh, it's kind of. Okay. World travel, partners, suppliers, let's go on a trip. World travel is off to Paris. Flying with Tom Cruise. Wait, that.
What?
Leaving at 7 on flight number 237. And birthday boy Michael's paying for it all! Woo! Jim, that's your postcard, my friends. There you go, that's your postcard. My job is to have some laughs, to help you think more about what you do, and look for those ways to be innovative in your partnerships. Get more passionate, take that passion back, and don't you dare leave these networks, these relationships that is in this room. It's your time to get up off your butt and make it happen, because you know what time it is? Showtime! Honor and pleasure. Mr. Farrell, that is my name. I'm glad you took the time to I didn't get on you once, except under the table. That was it.
Good, before you leave, do you have a magic hat that you can pull out World Series tickets out of that magic hat somewhere? All right. Thanks, John. Good man.